Good to have Bill King with us every Wednesday around now. He is the king of college football talk and hosts on Nashville Sports Radio Monday through Friday from 6 to 9. Bill, we have been hit with more snow here in all across the state of Arkansas than probably in the last 12 or 13 years combined. Where you live right outside Nashville, what's been the situation with weather?
Yeah, it's been bad, and we're getting another one this afternoon, early evening. We haven't had a show all week. Now, I've been doing my show from my home studio for 5 years, so the pandemic didn't change anything for me. But the producers that have to get in town and they have to be at the station, Crazy Charlie is mine, he hadn't been able to get in, so we hadn't had a show yet this week.
It does show you, I guess, who the most important person on a show is, right? That would be not you and me. It would be Smackdown and Matty T, the guys in studio, because I get to do this show at my house, too. I guess you and I aren't as important as we thought we were.
If they can't get there, we're not on. And so, yeah, and we don't take time off. I haven't had a vacation in probably 5 years. I don't like being, and even if we do go somewhere, I'll take my equipment and we'll do the show. So we don't get away hardly at all. So this 3 days is kind of weird for me.
Yeah, this must feel like the extended weekend that you never asked for. And
right.
When I have days like that, I almost don't really know what to fill my day with outside of going outside and running or bicycling, and I ain't doing that today. So
right.
This has to feel so weird for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. I may do with all the time here, but I'm weird. I'm not one of those guys looking for, I need to get out of here and get out of town and disconnect some. I don't want to get away from what I do. What I do is what I want to do all day, every day. So I'm a little different that way.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you. So I saw where the AFCA has asked the NCAA to do something about this faking of injuries that we see near the end of games by defensive teams to save timeouts. And right. I guess this is a two-pronged question because SmackDown did point out to me, it's like, how do you enforce that? So my questions would be, is this the stupidest thing you see on the field in college football? And how exactly can you police faking injuries?
I don't think you can. Put a committee together and judge if the guy really was just standing there fine and then he fell over and really he's okay? I mean, I don't know how you can determine that. Here's the thing about it, though. Here's the best part of this talk. Every fan base on social media points it out when the other team does it, like their team is too virtuous to do. That's the hilarious part. It's we would never do that here, but look at that bump. Yeah, defense is winded and they're faking it here. That's the best part of this whole thing. I hope they don't fix it. It's fantastic drama. It's fantastic theater.
Well, maybe by the end of the season, we need to give away some acting awards. Have like a college football Oscars or Emmys for the best faked injury because we have a lot to choose from.
That's right. No, I enjoy it. I mean, and frankly, I don't remember the last time I thought that a game of magnitude of some, I don't mean just random, but a game that really matters was determined by some guy falling out on the field when he wasn't hurt.
Yeah. So obviously the big news in college football.
It's taught by every staff. Every defensive staff teaches this.
I guess you could view it as just taking advantage of the rule book more than anything, and every coach tries to do that, don't they?
Right.
So
absolutely.
The big news in college football over the week, of course, is Gus Malzahn's hiring at UCF, which it seems to be quite logical. Him working for Terry Mohajir, a guy that's had success at that level of college football, is 1 year at Arkansas State. It really seems to be like overall a very good fit.
I think this works well. A couple of things about Gus. I think he did a good job at Auburn. His overall record was excellent and beat Nick more than anybody does. But this fit for him, first of all, Gus is very quarterback-centric. And you can go back to 2010 when they had Superman. He was a coordinator. And then 13, they had a really good quarterback, too. And they got to the championship game and got within seconds of winning that one. He inherits a very good quarterback at UCF and a really revved up offense. So I think that was a incredible hire. And, of course, everybody on social media is saying, look, they got paid by Tennessee to get, their coach on the road to Rocky Top. And now they get Gus Malzahn, a better coach than what they had, to take over there in Orlando. So I think that was a very good hire, I think.
Bill King joining us here on Halftime. Bill, a little bit more on Gus Malzahn just for a second. I'm curious to kind of see also from the comments from his opening press conference, before I get to that, his opening comments at the press conference from some of the reporters, that the pressure cooker that is UCF, because of all the pressure that UCF has in the AAC, how much pressure, honestly, do you think is on Gus Malzahn to, I guess, keep the ship moving in the right direction for UCF?
Well, the worst part of that is the kid that asked the question. Obviously, whoever that is has no clue about college football or even recent history. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe he's learning, but it was a dumb question. So, no, there's not near the pressure that you're sitting there in a state, and the best that ever did it, including Bear Bryant, is right up the road from you in Tuscaloosa, and you're held accountable for that when you have no chance to match it. No, it's one of the dumber questions I've ever heard in my life at a press conference.
What's going to be what's the most interesting thing you're looking forward to seeing with Gus in the AAC with UCF? And I think for me, eventually seeing him versus Luke Fickell, that's going to be the matchup I'm really anxious to see, as far as two former head coaches that have done it to the biggest level, now doing it here.
Yeah, Luke's done a really good job. And I tell you what, Memphis has had a good program, particularly offensively. Those are all good ball games, guys, as you know. And I think we're going to see some epic games. The other thing is, think about it. Central Florida is a massive university, one of the bigger universities in America. You're in a wonderful location for recruiting. Florida, Miami, Florida State, Alabama, all those teams that go in there, they get all they want, and there's still tons left over. It's a fantastic gig, and I think you can take advantage of this, and you're not held accountable there like you are, let's say, at Auburn or Alabama.
Bill, I also don't see any reason that Gus is fixing to be supremely successful here at UCF. And let's just, for the sake of this question, let's say he's there, or say he goes undefeated this next upcoming football season, maybe the next two football seasons, goes undefeated, a one-loss team the next year. How long do you think he'll be at UCF? And kind of as a follow-up to that, where do you think he might end up next? Maybe back in the SEC or outside the SEC? Or
here's the thing. Where he's at in his career, I don't think you can buy him now. There's always a point where you can be bought, right? It's always about the money. They always say it's not. It's always about the money. But all the money he made at Auburn, plus they owed him $12 million out the door, plus all the money he's going to make at UCF. So I don't think some big, bad, we've been around longer, State U can come in and we're in a better league. Here's some money. Oh, God, got to leave Orlando. I don't think you can buy him now. He's got everything. So I don't know that he leaves for another gig if he's successful. I don't know you can seduce him with the money.
Last thing I want to touch on with you here, Bill, and this is a combination college football, college baseball thing. I know those are your two favorite sports, the same with me, that we talk about here. Did you see the new defensive tackle that Ole Miss signed from New Jersey? This Tywone Malone. He's going to be a two-way player. He's going to play defensive tackle and first base. He's 300 pounds, which I can see as a defensive tackle. I saw his swing on Twitter a few times. This dude's got legitimate power to all fields. This is the third football, baseball player that Ole Miss has. They've got John Reese Plumlee. There's Jerrion Ely. Those are two of their better football players, too. And this defensive tackle, Tywone Malone. I think Ole Miss has more two-way players in this league than anybody else. And it seems they're able to use that baseball program to help recruit football players, too.
Yeah, sounds like the Big Hurt.
He does.
Physically, they're, that'll be okay. So let's say he's up to bat. Well, now he won't be playing this spring, though, right? That's for 21-22, correct?
Correct.
Baseball.
Correct.
I was about to say he and Kumar Rocker, but we won't see that. Obviously, I'd love to see that because either the ball's going to go 600 feet or he sits down on the bench, right? Something's got to happen there, but that'll be fun to watch, guys. I don't know much about him, but physically he sounds – I mean, I've watched a whole lot of baseball and travel baseball with my kids, and I've seen all the sizes from 8 years to 18 to 20-year-olds. I've never seen one that big.
Yeah, 6'5", 300 bills, Bill. I have not seen a college baseball player that big, and he doesn't look fat. I mean, he looks like a real athlete. And I'll tell you mentioned Kumar Rocker, like if things would have gone differently for him, who knows? Maybe you would have seen the two of these guys line up on opposite sides of the line against each other on football.
Oh, man. I told you Kumar Rocker was here, and I saw him when he was in 7th grade. And, you know, you really didn't think first pick in the draft back then, but you knew he'd be good. But I don't know that he ever played football. His dad, obviously, Tracy Rocker, is one of the best defensive linemen in the history of the SEC. That's not embellishing. That good. But I don't think that kid ever played. Now, if you look at him, he could play. I mean, he could be 6'5", 290 if he wanted to be.
Well, I'll tell you what. Just look. If I were a hitter looking out on the mound, not even with the knowledge of what he throws, I'd be pretty intimidated by a kid that size anyway. All right, Bill, we'll leave it there. Yep. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio.